Hey everybody, Mr. Hayes is here. Well, glad you're back. Up for learning card number 3. Count them 3. I know it's hard to believe that we've already done 3 of these, but you know, when you're having fun, time flies. So this is going to be learning card number 3, and we're going to be topic of today is going to be solving inequalities. And while we're writing this down, please make sure you take the time to subscribe and hit that like button. Sorry, I had to play the YouTube there for a second. Anyway, I do have a playlist of all of these if you want to kind of keep them bookmarked or whatever. All good. Remember, big thing about solving inequalities, it's identical to solving equations. So in other words, much like a lot of things we're going to be doing this year, it's really nothing new. We're just going to tweak it a bit. So we're still going to worry about distributing first. We're still going to worry about combining like terms on each side of the equal sign. We're still going to go through. And so, yeah, so distributing, we're going to combine like terms. We're going to isolate the variable. We do that, remember, with adding and subtracting. And then the last thing is we're going to solve for the variable. And when we do that, that's going to be through dividing. Now, this is where the tweak comes. If you remember that if we end up dividing by a negative number, and actually it's multiplying 2. I should probably fix that to be technically correct. So if we're dividing by a negative, we're going to flip the inequality. So as an example, greater than would become less than. Okay? And that's it. I mean, so if we really do this right, we're going to be in good shape. Everything else is identical to what you guys have been practicing for a while. So I've got an example here. We're going to go through it. I'm going to give you a couple of tips here, and then we will go through and do the graphing of the solution as well. So we're going to distribute first. 10x plus 6 is less than or equal to. Now, if there's no distribution on a side, and you want to do the combining of like terms at the same time, I'm okay with it. I would defer to whatever your teacher tells you to do, because, you know, different teachers have different styles. Now we're going to isolate the variables. I'm going to do this a little differently, I know, just so you can definitely see the dividing by a negative here. So what we're going to end up doing, I guess I'm going to leave that there, is I'm going to move the 10x because I want to create a negative over on the right-hand side. Now, pro tip, that's down over here. If you always move the smallest number in terms of the variable, so like here, I've got 6x and I have 10x. If you move the smallest one, the one furthest to the left on the number line, so the 6x would be this case, you will always end up with a positive coefficient in front of x. So, and then you won't have to worry about dividing by a negative. Move the smallest variable term. To ensure positive coefficient. Because what that does is it keeps you having, I mean, negative signs are one of those things that create lots of problems. Well done, Mr. Hayes. Negativity is never, yeah, okay, fine, thanks. But what ends up happening then is that, you know, negative signs cause lots of issues. And then, so again, you want to try to keep yourself from being put in bad math situations like that. So anyway, let's say we didn't, because we didn't know any better, because we were still amateurs. So I'm going to take that, and then we'll move the 16. All right, so now we're going to get to the dividing. Now, if you pause a second, do you feel that on the back of your neck? A little tingling, like something is a little bit wrong? Well, that's the negative sign right here, okay? Because that little tingling sensation that you're having is that you should be flipping the inequality. That means that this, because I'm dividing, not that I'm dividing a negative number, I'm dividing by a negative number. Let me make that explicitly clear. That means that flips around. So, oh, you know what? Let's not do a decimal. Let's make a number that nobody can read, Mr. Hayes. I'm going to reduce that down to 5 halves. And this will become x. Now, I know some of you guys love, and that's fine. This answer is perfect, great. The one thing which you may need to double check is like on a multiple choice test, or if your teacher would like you to write the variable first. You're going to go ahead and write the x in the 5 halves, and then just remember, you know, good old Pac-Man over here. Num, 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 num. It's going, wow, that wasn't supposed to happen. Well, so it's heading towards the 5 halves. So that means that over here, this one is also going to go to the 5 halves. And there's your answer. Congratulations. Now, you're probably also going to be asked to graph this. Couple quick reminders on here. The open circle means the point is not part of the solution. So it's like there's no equality in it. Filled in dot means the point is part of the solution. So that means that you're going to have the equalities in there for that one. Now, in my room, I'm going to trust that you know how to count. And so all I would expect is this. Now, 5 half, 2 goes into 5 twice, so you know the number's going to be between 2 and 3. So we have 0. We have 5 halves here, which is also, remember, 2.5. I know some of you guys are yelling in the background. I appreciate that. No, please, sit down. You guys are fine. I appreciate all the praise. So you ask yourself, what type of hole am I going to draw here? It's going to be filled in because I have, because remember, I'm trying to graph, hey, Bell, I'm trying to graph this, right? Oops, 5 halves. So it's filled in because it's less than or equal to. So we're going to go ahead and fill that in. And then we want numbers that are less than that. And the benefit of actually having 0 on there is that if you're not sure, you can always say, okay, is 0? Oh, don't. No? Okay, never mind. It's not going to like it. You know, you can always just plug in 0. It's going to be 0 less than or equal to 5 halves. And of course, the answer is yes, it's true. So then at that point, we know that this is the side. Or, I mean, pick a number. You know what less than means. Or say, hey, you know, 5 halves is the biggest number. Where a number's less than that. You know, shade on that side. Okay? So, I know that was 8 minutes of more fun than you can possibly stand. Obviously, if you have questions, come on in. We will probably be having a quiz over this stuff, and then we'll hit 2 more learning cards before the big test over the first unit. But again, take your time. Remember just that one little extra hint that we have to do, worrying about negative signs, and I will talk to you later.